I'm not gonna waste your time in this video like all the other content creation gurus that make those shitty videos on YouTube. 20 YouTube growth hacks to get 1,000,000 subs in 20 minutes. By the end of this video, you will have the exact, real, no bullshit knowledge that you need to grow as a young content creator and make a living from it. Even 10K per month is achievable with what I'm going to teach you in this video, because this is a full content creation guide in which I will teach you why content creation is the best business right now, how to find your niche, how to come up with ideas, how to create long-form content, and I will break this down to scripting, filming, editing, coming up with titles, thumbnails, and everything else you need. How to create short-form content with the same breakdown here, and finally, how to monetize your content in 6 different ways. So if you're not a successful creator yet, which is why you clicked on this video, then you need only one thing when watching this video, and it's focus. You see, your attention span is so shit that you probably won't be able to watch this whole video, but an ability to focus on what's important is what determines your success. How do you expect people to focus on your videos if you can't even focus on such valuable videos like this one? I highly encourage you to watch the video from start to finish, because the chapters are in an order for a reason. You won't be able to make a lot of money without realizing how to engage with your audience in the first place. In case you don't realize it yet, in my opinion, content creation is the best business available at the moment. You see, I'm at a point where I've made 1,200 bucks just from 4 TikToks. What is 4 TikToks? It's like nothing, right? It's not that I want to brag. I just want you to imagine that you could make 1,200 bucks from 4 TikToks or 800 bucks from one YouTube video, from ad revenue only. But obviously you're not there yet. We all start somewhere, and quite frankly, I've been doing content creation half of my life. While it may sound ridiculous, I started posting to YouTube when I was only 8. Think about it. I posted those like gaming videos like Geometry Dash, Clash of Clans or whatever there is, and I begged for 5 likes and I wouldn't get them. So I had like over 100 videos on my channel and I wouldn't get 5 likes. But fast forward a few years later, I actually became a professional scooter rider and I made videos on that. I would post some vlogs that I recorded with my friends to this channel that you're watching right now, and this was also the time when I first started getting some views, because a couple hundred there, a couple hundred there. But that was the biggest turning point for me, because when I stopped riding my scooter, I started a fashion Instagram and TikTok, and in 3 months I got to 10,000 followers on Instagram. But when I saw that shit got serious, like I was getting first brand deals and stuff like that, I actually started learning more about Instagram, about TikTok, and it took me next 3 months to get to over 100k followers on both platforms. And I am finally getting the rewards that the 8-year-old me wanted. The 8-year-old me who begged for 5 likes and still didn't get them. And the journey was absolutely beautiful. So just imagine if you could satisfy that childhood dream of becoming a YouTuber, because I know you had that dream too. Imagine your future self looking back to literally this moment right now where you're watching this video, thanking you for learning about content creation, for starting the journey, because they're successful right now. They're getting views, they're getting paid. They've satisfied their childhood dream of becoming a YouTuber. And this could be your first why to start content creation journey. Because as a content creation, you need your why. You need to understand why you should pursue content creation, which is our first chapter. In the beginning, I said that I actually think that content creation is the best business at the moment, and it's not an exaggeration. I actually think that. And now I'm going to tell you why. You see, all the overrated businesses like SMMA or dropshipping are overrated. Why? Because content creators talk about them. So doesn't it seem pretty suspicious to you that those people talk about how great of a business dropshipping is, while in reality all they do is create content on YouTube? All those dropshipping dickheads are not actually dropshippers, they are content creators, but they don't talk about it because that would hurt their entrepreneur image. Because even though content creators are actually entrepreneurs, it doesn't really seem as that, and it's much better to call yourself a dropshipper running an e-commerce brand than a creator. This is the one question that I always want you to ask yourself. Why is it that the guy promotes dropshipping or SMMA while actually doing something else, while actually putting all the effort into creating content? Maybe it's that they don't tell you everything. There's one key thing they don't tell you, but I'm going to tell you, and it's that we are in the creator economy. I am a part of the creator economy. You are the part of the creator economy. Your mother is, your friends are, everybody is. Because creator economy is everything that is related to content, any form of content. YouTube is a creator economy platform. Spotify is a creator economy platform. Instagram is, Facebook is, Twitter is. Everything that you can consume content from is creator economy related. So just think about how big those platforms are and how many users they have. It's an industry worth over $100 billion, and the number is still growing because social media is relatively new. So creator economy is the future. Being in the creator economy as a creator is such a powerful tool. That is why all the presidents, celebrities, politicians, and everybody else uses social media. It is so powerful because back in the day, only kings had power to tell somebody to do something and they would actually do that. And now a 16-year-old guy like me can tell you to do something and you're gonna do it. And obviously the more followers, the more famous you are, the more power you have. Because I can tell you to report a guy who's stealing my videos and you're gonna do that. But Andrew Tate can tell you to go out to the streets and protest against his jail sentence and you're gonna do that. Those were just some examples, but just think about how powerful that is in business. You can tell somebody to buy something and they're gonna do that. Normal brands have to spend thousands of dollars on advertising on the TV, while you can just tell people to buy your product and they're gonna do it if they like you enough. And that is exactly what all those people on YouTube do. And they don't tell you about it because, first of all, they wanna look like big entrepreneurs, and second of all, they don't want competition. Those guys leverage the power creator economy gives them and that it's not oversaturated yet. Even though everyone around the world is in the creator economy, only 1% of people are actually creators and 99% are consumers. Because when you look at the numbers of how many creators there are on YouTube, it seems scary, like a very oversaturated business. But it's not, because just look at the people in your day-to-day life. How many actual creators do you know? Those that get paid from creating content. I don't know anybody like that personally. Yeah, I have a friend in South Africa who creates content and gets paid from that. But in my city, I don't know anybody. On the other hand, I've heard of people who start social media marketing agencies, and everybody I ask what do they want to do in the future, they say, oh, I want to try dropshipping or trading. And why is it that people don't pursue content creation even though it is such a great business opportunity? It's because they have no balls. Because it takes talking to the camera and possibly exposing yourself to critique and getting weird comments from your friends, which they don't want to get. And even if you look at actual creators, 80% of creators don't even take this shit seriously. All these reasons, the fact that content creation is such a beautiful journey, that it is such a great business opportunity, and that it is the future of our world's economy, those are the reasons why you have to pursue it. But you know what? The one single best reason to do content creation is that in normal businesses, it takes approximately 7 to 10 years to achieve success, to get paid like a lot. And in content creation, you can do that in 3 or even 2 years. If you're my age, if you're 16 right now, at 19, you could be financially free. You could live wherever you wanted. You could work whenever you wanted in just 3 years. When everybody is still going to be in high school or in college, you could be free. And I am not exaggerating. Take a look at Hamza's career. Take a look at Nicholas Crystal's career. They all got their success after 3 years. After 2 years, they lived in like fucking Bali, Dubai. The guy I mentioned, Nicholas Crystal, went from 0 to 30,000 subscribers in his first year of YouTube. And in the second year, he went from 30 to 300,000 subscribers and also made over $200,000 in 1 year. Things like this happen all the time while you're still looking at trading, fucking crypto, dropshipping. Bro, it's right in front of your eyes. So now, so that you're convinced that content creation should be your future, we're gonna get to the second chapter, which is how to find your niche, aka what to create content about. One thing that every single beginner does, and you can probably relate to that, is they try to find the perfect niche for their videos. But what if I told you that it doesn't actually matter? There's a good example that Hamza gives, and it's that imagine telling a fat guy to not go to the gym until he finds the perfect workout routine. So just imagine there's your fat friend, he comes up to you, he's like, I want to start going to the gym, and you're like, no, don't go to the gym. The first thing that you have to do is find the perfect workout plan. You wouldn't say that to him, would you? You would tell him to go to the gym even though he has no idea what to do, because you know that he's going to find out during the journey. So why do you try to come up with the perfect idea or the perfect video niche before you start? It makes no sense. But this rule only applies to your first 10 videos. Afterwards, you have to niche down a little bit, right? So there's a tool, and I like to call it overlapping circles. So you know how there's this graph with overlapping circles where in the middle is something you should look for. And this is exactly what we're going to use to find your niche. I'm going to show you myself as an example so that you understand the concept better. The first circle is, what are you passionate about? In my case, I am passionate about filmmaking, photography, content creation, self-improvement, and working out. Circle number 2, what do you research? So, what videos do you look for on YouTube? What books do you want to read? This is that. So, I want to learn about entrepreneurship, content creation, filmmaking, and self-improvement. Circle number 3. What do you have results in? So in my case, it's definitely content creation and social media growth. It is also self-improvement, working out, and maybe also making money. And the last circle is, what would you like to talk about long term? Because as for the moment, it may seem comfortable and easy for you to talk about dating or nofap, but are you going to talk about jerking off in like 20 years? Like, seems stupid, right? So in my case, I would love to talk long term about social media growth, filmmaking. So in my case, I would love to talk about content creation, filmmaking, making money, general self-improvement. And those are my examples. I don't want you to get influenced by them, so write yours on your own. Then look for one thing that repeats in every single circle, and that is what you're going to create content about. In my case, it is content creation, and that is why you're watching this video. Now, so that you've got your general niche, you also gotta learn how to come up with ideas, because the idea is 80% of the success of your video. As a small creator, you have to come up with brilliant ideas. Big creators don't have to, because when you look at Hamza's channel, you expect him to give you a lot of value. That's why it doesn't really matter what is he going to make a video about, because people are gonna watch it anyway. You, as a nobody, have to come up with better video ideas though. And the best ideas are the ones that solve problems. You see, content creation is just like business. Your videos are your products, and they're only going to sell if they're gonna solve other people's problems. This may be kind of tricky when you think of some world problems, because if you created a video on how to solve world hunger, it would get a lot of views because it's a world problem, but it is very unlikely that you're going to do that. But it doesn't have to be on such a big scale. You can also solve your friends' problems, your own problems. I have a friend who wants to start creating content professionally, but his videos are shit. Like, it sounds harsh, but it's true, right? So what I did is I came up with this idea of helping him by creating a full content creation guide, and the same way everyone else, because your problems are the same problems as his, right? So while I imagine his problems, there are also other guys like you who also have the same problems, and you see how this works. That is why you watch this video. Give me some free time, but keep me productive throughout the day. So this year, I've made a video called The Perfect Routine for Teenagers to Succeed, something like that. And it is actually a solution to my own problem. And there are also many other guys who also have such problem, who also need such video. So to come up with the best ideas, you want to listen to other people's problems, you want to listen to your own problems and film solutions to those. Because remember, it's just like business. You have to solve problems to sell. But there is also another way to come up with good ideas, and this was actually a thing I did like 2 weeks ago for my Gym is Ruining Your Life video. It is also a thing I did like 2 weeks ago for my How Your Favorite Music Genre Affects Your Life video, where I found a video titled How the Way You Watch Movies Affects Your Life, and I was like, wait, so I can actually do that myself, but with music. So I like to get inspiration from other successful videos sometimes, and when you look at YouTube in general, everybody does that, so it's not like copying or anything. It is also something that Mr. Beast himself recommends. Get inspiration from others, but put your own twist on it, and that's how you're going to get a successful video as a small creator. And one way in which you can find brilliant ideas for your videos is to read books. Last month I've read an amazing book titled Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins, and in the book I found a chapter titled How to Find Time for Anything in Your Life. And that is also going to be a title of my next video. Okay, maybe not the next, the point is that it's just coming soon. But what I'm going to do is test the strategy he explained in the book. I'm going to show the viewer my own experience and make a whole video on that. To notice such ideas and such opportunities, not only in books, but also just in your thoughts. When you're sitting on a toilet, you have to write them down, because you're gonna forget about them. I have a list of like 20 video ideas which I came up with, and obviously half of them are shit, but believe me when I say that as I speak I only remember like 1 or 2 of them. So you have to write your ideas down, otherwise you're gonna forget about them. And now, so that you've got your best idea ever, you can finally start creating the video, which gets us to the chapter called How to Create Long Form Content. Before doing anything, the first step is to find the best title. And there are 2 types of titles which you can go for. The first one is for search engine, and the second one is as clickable as possible. The search engine titles are basically what people look for using YouTube search. So how to become a full-time content creator is a good search engine title, because people actually look for that. While Listening to Music Ruined My Life is not a good search title, because people never research that, but it is an intriguing title which they may click on when they see it on their main page. Search engine optimized titles usually have a lot of keywords like full-time content creator, teenager, full guide, while clickable titles generally have less keywords but are more clickable. What you have to keep in mind though, even when creating search engine optimized titles, is that you have to create titles that you would personally click on. A tool I see many creators use for their titles is ChatGPT and AI in general, but those titles are shit, because nobody would click on them. Even though they're optimized with keywords and they're intriguing, they sound inhuman. And the last thing is that you want to keep your titles short, under 60 characters long, because if you make them too long, they're going to be like cut off in the middle of the sentence, so your viewers won't even know what they're clicking on. There's a good website you can use to test your titles with thumbnails. We'll get to thumbnails in a second, and the website is called Thumbs Up TV. Obviously this is not sponsored, I just really like the website and I use it all the time, so just feel free to check it out to see if your title isn't too long or maybe too short. The reason you want to create your title before creating the video is because you're going to see if the title looks intriguing, if it's interesting, or maybe if it's shit. Because the idea may be good, but if you can't come up with a good title, then nobody is going to click on the video. But if you've got the title, the second step is to actually script the video. You want to script your videos to organize them, to remember what you want to say, because if you don't script them, then you're going to be like, oh damn, I wanted to say that and I didn't, and it sucks. And in general, you don't want your video to be all over the place, you want to be concise and make sense. I literally have my script right here, and before scripting your video, you have to think of what is the video going to look like. So this video that I'm creating right now is a talking head video, but other videos on my channel are more of like cinematic with loads of B-roll. I will come back to what B-roll means in the filming part, just so that you know, this video that I'm filming right now is a talking head video, and I scripted it in one of 2 ways. The beginning, I scripted word to word. So I basically wrote down exactly what I was going to say, then I just memorized it and repeated to the camera. But then after the intro, I scripted the whole video in bullet points. The reason I didn't script the video word for word till the end is because it would take me way too much time, many hours, because this video is long. Scripting word to word is generally not worth it and very inefficient, because to get 1 minute of a video, you have to write down around 200 words. Getting a 10-minute video is writing down 2000 words, and just imagine how many words I would have to write down for this exact video. That's why I scripted most of this video in bullet points, because it is way more efficient. I remember what I have to say, but I just say it off the top of my head. Just so that you know, here's what I wrote down in this section. Scripting, talking head or cinematic, word to word, 200 words equals 1 minute, and bullet points. That's it. And I only wrote down so little, but it took me like, what, a couple minutes to say all this? It may be difficult for you to script videos as bullet points in the beginning though, because you have to speak from the top of your head, which feels uncomfortable. So as for beginners, it can be useful to script word for word, but keep in mind how much time it actually takes. What I do right now is I script intros word to word, because I want to pay attention to what keywords I use, to what exactly I say, so that it's as engaging as possible. But then throughout the video, it doesn't really matter that much, so I script in bullet points. But in case you're making more of a cinematic video with different scenes, then you have to create a shot list. Shot list is, as the name says, list of all the shots that you're going to use in your video, all the B-roll shots. What you see right now is A-roll, because I'm just sitting here talking to the camera, but B-roll is, for example, this scene right here where I'm not talking to the camera. Here's an example of a shot list for one of my videos. It takes a lot of shots to create such cinematic videos, but such shot list is very useful, because you're gonna make sure that you have enough footage for your video. And now, so that you've scripted your video, you've got your shot list, it's time to film it. I gotta tell you a small basic rule of photography and filmmaking so that you get the most out of your videos, and it is that lighting is everything. So look at how many lights I have right now. I have the light in the background, I have that light in the background, and I have one lamp here. You cannot film in a dark room, your face has to be lit, but just normal lights that you have in your house won't work. So if you don't have like a professional lamp, so a softbox or even a circular lamp, then what I would recommend you to do is just stand next to a window and film there. You also don't want your lamp to be right in front of you. What is way better is putting it to the side. So as you can see, it puts a shadow on this side of my face while this side is lit, and it just creates a lot of texture. So without getting in depth, just keep that in mind. Put your main lamp 45 degrees to the side and a little above you. That's how you're going to get the best light possible. In case you don't have a lamp, then do the same with a window. When filming A-roll, you want to talk to the person that is behind the camera. You have to know who it is. So I know that you're a guy, first of all. I also know that you're young, my age, around my age. And I also know who you want to become. That's why I talk to you and you feel like you can relate to me, even though technically I don't know who I'm talking to. That's what I like to do. But in case you don't really like that idea, you can also imagine your friend being behind the camera, and you can also imagine speaking to your younger self. When explaining any topic, you want to simplify it as much as possible. You don't want to use sophisticated vocabulary. You want to speak as if you were explaining that to your younger brother. Another thing is to always keep eye contact with the viewer. So you want to look straight into the lens that you have and not into your screen. Right now I'm looking into my screen and it looks straight, right? And now I'm looking back at you again. And I know that you're shit at keeping eye contact, especially with women, so maybe you can at least do that with your fucking camera. What you also want to do, and maybe even implement that in your script, is tell stories, because you want to be as relatable to the viewer as possible. So just like I told you my story in the beginning, you can also tell your stories. Because there was a time when I was in Thailand and I spoke to natives there. And those guys are completely different, like completely different culture. It was pretty difficult to find like a similar language, but when we started, see what I did there. I completely made up that story and you were more hooked than before. Notice how much more engaged you were than before when I explained all the theory. Immediately, as soon as I started telling a story, you were more engaged. That's why you want to tell stories. And by the way, I've never been to Asia. And the last thing you have to do when talking to the camera, or rather to your viewer, is you have to be engaging, so you have to be energetic. You have to show your emotions, you have to laugh, you have to smile. Because if you speak with no energy at all, if you speak like this, no one is going to watch you. But on the other hand, if you're going to be energetic and shit, everybody's going to smile with you, and you see the point, you probably even smile right now, right? And when it comes to filming B-roll footage, so all this cinematic stuff, like shots additional to your main footage, you wanna, first of all, plan your shots. Second of all, plan more shots than you need. So to give you an example, when I film me sitting down to a computer and writing something, I filmed that from 3 perspectives, even though I'm probably only going to use 1. And it is not being inefficient, because even if you're not going to use the footage in this specific video that you're going to create, then you're maybe going to use that in a later video. And just as with talking head footage, you also want to show emotions in your B-roll, because filmmaking is all about emotions. And as a content creator, as a video creator, you are also a filmmaker. Like, not really a filmmaker, video maker. Once you've got your video filmed, you've done the hardest part, and now it's time for more chill stuff, and now you're gonna edit your video. Editing your videos is all about keeping the viewer engaged, because as I said in the intro, you've got a shit attention span. I have a shit attention span too. Like, it's probably better than yours, but yeah, but our attention span is shit, right? And the purpose of editing videos is to keep the viewer engaged despite their low attention span. The style of your editing should also depend on your audience. So if you're filming for a younger audience, you're going to get more of those flashy animations, text everywhere, sound effects like memes and all that stuff. But if editing for an older audience, you're gonna use less of that and make your videos more simple. Sometimes it's not only about the audience, sometimes it's also about the style of the video itself. So in some cases, in entertainment videos, there's going to be more of that flashy editing, while in educational videos like this one, you're going to have less editing, because you gotta understand the topic and listen to what I say and not look at what happens on the screen. When it comes to what happens on the screen, the visuals, you're gonna use B-roll that you filmed yourself, or if you don't have that, you can also use stock footage. A website I highly recommend with free stock footage is called pexels.com. You can also use text in your videos, because it is an easy way to keep the viewer engaged, because they have to read what happens on the screen, so it requires active engagement. But the number one most important thing when it comes to editing your videos is managing viewers' mood. And it doesn't really take part in educational videos, but in entertainment videos and in your intros, you definitely have to pay attention to that. So just like in horror movies, they are scary because they are good at managing your mood. You have all those scary sound effects, scary music, like, you know, jump scares, everything like that. It is all about managing your mood. So if you can do that with your YouTube or Instagram videos, you're gonna keep the viewer engaged forever. And you also manage their mood by filming in a specific way. So for example, as soon as I start laughing, you're gonna start smiling too, right? And that is exactly what happens with mood management, and you have to implement that in your videos. The way you implement mood management is by using sound effects that, like risers or impacts, and different music genres. Just make sure that music you use fits the part of the video that you're currently creating. If you're looking for some good music, then there's an affiliate link in the description called Where I Get My Music From. It's Epidemic Sound. You can get a subscription and get a whole library of all sorts of different songs, and it's honestly a very useful thing, so if you want, then check it out. And finally, the last step of creating your long form content is creating a good thumbnail. There are two things you have to pay attention to when creating good thumbnails. First of all, it has to be intriguing. So when you look at the thumbnail, it's a great thumbnail so a good thumbnail is the one which makes you ask yourself a question. An example of that is when I made a video exposing Hamza, where in the thumbnail I put something like kicked out students, and people wonder, what did he do? Like, what is the kicking out students thing? So make sure that when people look at your thumbnail, they start wondering what is going on. And the second rule is to make your thumbnail eye-catching. And this is pretty obvious, but it's not that simple, because many people create like black and white thumbnails, which doesn't really work, and you have to use bright colors for your thumbnail to stand out on YouTube homepage. You can use bright colors for that, create a lot of contrast, use red arrows and all sorts of stuff that make your thumbnail stand out on the homepage more. And the last thing is that you also have to adjust your thumbnail based on your audience and the purpose of the video. So the thumbnail of this video is more of like a photo, because it's an educational video and I wanted to reach more of a mature audience. But on the other hand, Mr. Beast's thumbnails are completely like edited, all fake, very bright colors, everything's gold, because he makes those videos more for kids. It's the same thing as with video editing. You also have to adjust your style based on the purpose of the video. Now you know everything you need to know about long form content, so we're getting to another chapter, which is how to create short form content. The first rule is that you're going to create at least 3 to 5 shorts at one take. This will make you much more efficient, because it takes time to set up a camera, to get in the mood, set up the microphone or whatever. And if you film 5 shorts at one take, it's going to be way more efficient. What I do is I script 5 shorts, then I film 5 shorts, then I edit 5 shorts, and then I post 5 shorts. And just like that, I have a full week of content with less effort. So how to actually script your shorts? The first rule is to make them around 50 words long, because you want to make your videos no longer than 15 seconds. The best range is 8 to 15 seconds for Instagram and TikTok, and around 13 seconds for YouTube Shorts. You're obviously gonna script word for word, because you wanna be as concise as possible so that you get more value in less time. You know, shorts, TikToks, Reels are short, so you're gonna be fast. And that's also when it comes to filming. You wanna talk fast and energetically. Sometimes when recording shorts, I happen to scream because I wanna be so energetic, and you gotta have the same mindset too. When it comes to editing, you want it to be very flashy, because people on shorts have literally no attention span. You have shit attention span because you're watching this video, but they have no attention span. You wanna cut every 1 to 2 seconds, put sound effects everywhere, captions all the time, additional text, perfect. And another trick to make people more engaged is to use popular songs, but make the beat drop at the end. Because you know, always before the beat drop, there's like a build up, so people wait for the final moment, and that's how they're going to watch more of your video. One tool I also use myself to create short form content is AI. I think it's Opus Pro, something like that. It's not sponsored. It's just an AI which takes your long form videos, chops them up into smaller pieces of short form content, adds captions on its own, and gives you a ready video to post on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Obviously, those AI videos are worse than the ones you create yourself, but they're still very useful, because generally, the more content, the better. Obviously, quality is more important than quantity, but in case of shorts, it doesn't really matter that much, because sometimes the most random shorts blow up and promote your channel, so it's a useful thing. But the most important thing is to post your shorts and reels and TikToks, whatever, to all the platforms you can think of. So I post my shorts to obviously YouTube, I post them to Instagram, and I post them to TikTok to get 3 times more reach. Because posting a short takes like what, 5 minutes? So in general it's 15 minutes, but you get a 3 times higher chance for it to blow up than if you only posted it to one platform. I generally think that short form content is not as important as long form content, which is way more valuable, not only to you, but also to your audience. It's a useful tool though, so make sure to use it. And now, here's what you have to do after you post a video. How to engage with your audience. The reason you want to engage with your audience is because they look at you as someone above them. Because you're the smarter guy, the guy who gives advice. You're popular on social media, so they look up to you. Imagine if you posted a comment under your favorite influencer's video. Imagine if he replied to that, gave you a heart. It would be pretty sick, right? There is a chance you would probably show that to your friends. And that's how your viewers feel too when you answer their comments, when you give them those YouTube hearts. That's why you want to reply, like, and give hearts to every single positive comment you can find under your YouTube videos. If you're a small creator, you can also do Q&As, you can answer some DMs. I did that in the past. I can't do it right now because I get too many of them, but I used to do that in the past. And the thing is that the person who you reply, who you engage with, may be your client in the future, because they like you more now, so that you engaged with them. Because going full-time as a content creator, making money using content creation, requires you to have true fans, not just viewers. You need fans. But when you get that, you can actually monetize your content. And this is the best chapter of this video: how to make money from your content. So there are obviously many different ways. I said that I would show you like 6 of them. So the first thing is that the most popular ways of making money on social media give you absolutely zero control. 77% of creators who get paid still rely on ads or brand deals. It's not only that YouTube ad revenue is not a big source of money, it's also that one day you may wake up and get demonetized for whatever reason, and all of your income is gone. The same thing may happen with sponsorships. In June, you may get $5,000 from sponsorships, but in July, you may get 0. That's why YouTube ad revenue and brand deals should be just an addition. What you want to do is build a business around your personal brand. Because your personal brand, the bigger it is, the more powerful it is. What I explained in the beginning, right? With a good enough personal brand, you can make people buy anything from you. Let that sink in. The most popular creators make a shit ton of money just creating videos saying happy birthday to people. You can do literally the same thing. You can sell your services, your physical products, your digital products, maybe your books, anything. There are 2 types of products you can sell leveraging your personal brand. The first one is do it yourself. So it's like a course, for example. You give your viewer all the knowledge they need, but it's up to them to do something with that knowledge. And there's nothing wrong with it. Courses are perfectly fine. What people always get wrong is they think that I'm against courses or whatever. No, I'm against the ways people market their courses. Courses themselves are a great source of knowledge, just like books are. Selling courses is no different to selling books, selling ebooks, or any other product. It's just that you need to make your product so appealing that people are gonna wanna buy it. The thing with do-it-yourself products is that they won't be expensive. They can be like $50 up to $100, but no more than that. Because other than creating videos or writing that book, you don't engage with the consumer at all. I actually thought about creating a content creation course myself, but I thought that it makes no sense because people can get such knowledge for free, just like in this video that I give you. What would make much more sense when it comes to a content creation guide is me working with you personally so that I can help you fix your mistakes that you're making at the moment. Because right now I can give you all the knowledge you need, but you may not even realize your mistakes, so you're not going to fix them. I'm going to see them, but you're not going to see them as the beginner. And that's where DIT, do it together products, can make you way more money, because you're going to actively engage with the consumer. Making more money is just about giving more value. So if you give more value to the consumer, he can pay you more. The most popular do it together product is personal coaching, because you meet with people on calls and not only teach you the knowledge you have, but also solve their problems. And the best thing is that you can do personal coaching with every single niche you can find in the world. Doing personal coaching is going to be your first way of making money as a content creator. It is the most beginner friendly, but you can also make a lot of money with it, starting at $50 per hour. The biggest negative is that it takes your own personal time to do personal coaching, but think about the positives. Part-time job is 20 hours per week. If you could find 20 guys and coach them every single week, only one call per week, for $50 per hour, you would make $1,000 per week, $4,000 per month. It's a lot, especially for a beginner. And what does it take to find 20 guys? 1,000 subscribers, 10,000 subscribers? You can definitely get that. That being said, personal coaching is going to be your go-to strategy for the beginning. But there is actually an even better way to do that. You see, this business method has gotten extremely popular in the last few years due to many personalities like Andrew Tate, for example, and it's creating private communities. When you think of private community as a product, it is actually one of a great product, because you give a monthly subscription for which the people can access your community. Inside of it, you give some courses, which is do-it-yourself value, but you also give do-it-together value by going on calls with the people from your community and actually solving their own problems, showing them their mistakes, and coaching them just like you would on a personal coaching call. It is also a great place for people from your community and for you to make like-minded connections, because you can text and talk to people with the same interests, and some of them may be even more experienced than you. I said that creating a private community is a great option, but later on in the journey, because people only pay you monthly subscriptions. So they would normally pay you $50 per hour of coaching, but now they pay you $50 or $100 per month. So you need more people to your community to make more money. But let's say you have 100,000 followers. Is it going to be hard to get 100 guys? I don't think so. And if you get 100 guys paying you $100 every month, you're making $10,000 per month. Just like that. Even if you don't get 100 guys, you get 50. You still make $5,000 per month only from this one thing, while you also have sponsorships, ad revenue, and all the other things. So realistically, with 100k, okay, let's be safe, 200k subscribers on YouTube, you can make $10,000 per month. And people get to higher amounts of subscribers in 2 years. So if you have 0 subscribers right now, which you probably don't, you probably have more, you can make $10,000 per month in 1.5 years. It took me many hours to create such a high value video, so I would highly appreciate it if you could click some buttons to help the algorithm, and I will see you on the authentic side of self-improvement.